Going live. The Hangout
We'll
is
do it
on the
live.
air. Doing it live on the air. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Are we
It is.
live?
We are live. We are
Oh,
live, and there's.
splendid. Hey, all right.
Hey, welcome to
Hey.
the show.
Welcome to the first Adamless show of the year.
It is, and probably the last one, knowing how he is.
Most likely. Most likely.
Until we pod fade. So,
Yeah.
obviously. I mean,
The fans
that,
will recall, of course, that the last time you and I hosted a show, it was the most downloaded episode ever on Podomatic.
that
So
is pretty fantastic right there.
I,
That's
I don't know if they were in it for us or for the fact we were recapping Total Divas, but hey, whatever.
Hey, I don't know. I think it's maybe a little bit of both. Maybe it's a oh, thank God the Adam guy's gone.
Could be. Could be.
All right. Well, we're gonna skip
Mix it up.
the normal intro. Like we're
Okay.
gonna do like part of the normal intro, but like the this week's episode of the rundown, I'm gonna skip that because
Yeah.
I asked Adam and he said I asked him if I could do a promo for my podcast, which debuted yesterday, by the way.
Would that be Shadow Vein?
That would be first episode debuted yesterday.
All right.
Shadowvein.net for the link. So I'm gonna like record later tonight like a short little like teaser thing for it. So it'll be
Nice.
really brief, but it'll be. He said I could do that to, and not have to pay the $20 apparently that he charges people that have no one has ever paid for. So there's that.
All right.
Everything's money to that man. It's like he has
Oh.
a kid coming or something.
Yeah. Well, that will solve all his financial problems.
That will. I found that having children, like as many as you possibly can from history, just looking at people with a lot of children, that's what works most.
Exactly. It may actually work if you have octuplets or non-tuplets, because then you can get your own TV show out of it.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I wonder if Emily probably doesn't have that many, does she?
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out.
I guess we'll find out.
We
We're gonna
shall
start
see.
taking bets now. How many kids is she gonna pop out? We'll like a rundown pool.
The over/under is 3.5.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Didn't back in the day, I remember when the McCoy septuplets were a big story. Was that Iowa or was that somewhere around Iowa?
I want to say it was, but I don't recall exactly
Oh.
where it was.
Oh,
But-
your neck
but
of
I-
the woods somewhere.
I think it was somewhere Midwesty.
Yeah.
It
Somebody
sounds like a
research
Midwesty
that.
thing. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
just get on to Google.
There you go.
Wikipedia, help me out. All right, you ready to get started, sir?
I am ready to get
I'm going to
started.
send one more very quick thing out to Facebook, maybe, and just be like, hey, bitches, get on over here. We're live.
We'll do it live.
All right. Let's link this up one last time.
Okay. Hold on, let me see. Oh, did I call that or what? The McCoy septuplets, born to Kenny and Bobby McCoy in Des Moines, Iowa.
Ah, Des Moines.
Oh, yeah. Yay, fertility drugs.
Representing.
Whoop, whoop.
Oh, my God. All right. I am not going to wait any longer. We must go
Got
on. All right, so see if I can play the role of Adam this week.
Big shoes to fill. If you want to give me the countdown for the recording.
I will.
Okay.
I'm about there. All right, rundown. Episode number 171 in 3, 2, 1, record. So, this is the second time that you and I have hosted without Adam, right, Mr. Rains?
Indeed, indeed.
My opening question, not fully wrestling related this week, is how long do you think this episode will go until either we win some sort of like prestigious internet award or we get Adam's Google account banned?
I think we're a shoe-in for the next edition of the Potties.
Ah, the
I don't know if that's actually a thing, but it sounds like it should be.
I feel like I want to win a potty.
And then we can hold him up like Owen Hart and be like, two-time Potty Award winner, blah, blah, blah.
I am not a nugget.
That's right.
I have a potty.
I am, which actually now when you say it, it kind of sounds weird.
Yeah, that was the
You
joke.
normally find nuggets in the potty, but
Normally,
anyway, that's
you normally would.
indeed.
Let's get to the rundown.
Woo!
how long to wait. Less ridiculous than a no torn shirt, no bandana rule at Hogan's Beach. It's episode 171 of The Rundown. My name is Andy, and I am your host for this wonderful Wednesday, October 1st. Joining me as co-host this week, I went to the doctor specifically to get my rabies shots for tonight's show. It's Raccoon Reigns.
Pleasure to be back here. In fact, finally, the raccoon has come back to the rundown.
Indeed. How long has it been, Mr. Reigns? How long has it been?
It's been a good amount of time. I forget, maybe about 10-ish episodes. I think I did the post SummerSlam, and that was about it. That was the last one.
You're a busy raccoon.
And indeed, I got places to go. I got trash to rummage through. It's busy.
Indeed. We're going to skip the numbers this week because I don't care. And we're going to jump right to our official listener statistics. Mike Deal still owes Adam $10 from 3-4, I don't know how many weeks ago it is now. Up next, we've got Nima Azar, who donated $5 in no book. So you better
long-time listener.
Better get on that. Troy Bozen, $15 and a book. Aaron Glass, $25 and 2 books. And our official listener, Glenn Morton, $35 and a book.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
The old Viper, Glendy Morton.
The old Viper. If you want to be the Rundown's official listener, just head on over to, I believe it's on the Podomatic link, right? They can, it's a PayPal link. Yeah, go to podomatic.rundown.com. Go to the old PayPal link on the side, and you can donate some money if you're interested in the old chapbook. That is tinyurl.com/Distant Horizons to get your chasing on. So, anything before we move along? Any news? Anything interesting?
Not so much. I actually did watch SmackDown this week in preparation for the show. So,
fantastic.
So you're not going it alone on that one. Did you happen to watch Raw?
I did not.
Okay, all right.
So
then.
You're going alone on that one. I apologize.
That's fine. I'll just ask for your thoughts on certain things then, and we'll see what you think.
We'll see. Do you smell that? It kind of smells like Indian food.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, sorry. Actually, that's the Rundown Rewind.
Oh, okay, my mistake.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Starting with NXT, we start off with Bull Dempsey taking on Mojo Rawley in a rematch from the last big event, TakeOver, September 11th show. And for once, it's not a squash, but Bull still picks up the victory. After the match, Tyler Breeze comes out to steal a bit of the spotlight, and he attacks an already beaten up Mojo. That's just mean. Just totally mean. We get a little promo for Baron Corbin, who is apparently a biker who likes to hang out in the rain.
A biker? Is this like that? What was that? Aces and Eights that they did in TNA?
Perhaps, or Biker Undertaker, or something. American Badass. I'm not sure, but he was. He was.
Maybe he could be biker like Lance Armstrong.
Not quite that biker, but I think that would be more interesting. It was actually really funny. It was like he's on this motorcycle, he's all talking dark and deep, and there's this ridiculously awful looking like CGI background with rain falling. It was bad, really bad.
Well, yeah. If you think about it, they've done the biker gimmick quite a bit. They've done Aces and Eights have done it. The Undertaker did it. They had the Disciples of Apocalypse way back in the day too. It's been done to death, basically.
So why not recycle it? You know, no one knows any of those things. That was so long ago. We don't have attention spans or a network or anything to watch that on.
No, what's old is new again. I forget who used to say it. I think maybe it was Jim Cornette or one of those guys who said wrestling basically recycles everything in 7 years. There's just nothing new anymore. That's pretty true.
It's kind of like the movie business these days, like Hollywood.
That's true. Yeah, there really isn't much unique content in Hollywood these days. That's sad.
It is sad. Very sad. Up next, Tyler Breeze takes on Justin Gabriel, and a supermodel kick and beauty shot spells an end to Gabriel pretty quickly. Natty is backstage.
Supermodel kick, all right.
Supermodel kick, yes, that is what they are calling his super kick, the supermodel kick.
Supermodel. Okay, got it.
Get it?
Yeah, I get it.
He's like a weird mix between Shawn Michaels and the model Rick Martel. It's very bizarre.
Oh, I like that. Do you remember when they had the match at SummerSlam? I think it might have been '92 where they fought each other.
When they couldn't punch each other.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was awesome. Not in the face, because Sherry was like all, which I thought was weird, because I always thought that Sherry Martel was related to Rick Martel, but they're not.
Oh, yeah.
But apparently they're not. Because I always thought that was weird that they were fighting over her, and I'm like, why are you fighting over your cousin / sister / whatever she might be?
Yeah.
Very bizarre.
And actually, speaking of recycling, now basically The Miz is doing that gimmick where you can't hit him in the face. It's his.
There we go. Right?
Yeah.
It just comes back around. It's cyclical.
Indeed. Do we have any viewers at the moment, by the way? Just a quick question.
Zero viewers. What the hell is up with that? All right.
But if any of them come to the podcast, maybe it's if they want to post a comment on the Q&A on the side. Apparently, the past couple weeks, people have been going straight to the showcase instead of the Q&A. You got to go to the top there and hit the little button with all the squares and switch it over to Q&A, and then you're good.
Yep, absolutely. You're good to go. Hopefully, we'll get a few viewers before the end of the night.
Hope so.
Back to NXT, Natty is backstage pleading with William Regal for a rematch for her husband. Apparently, this is her thing now. She goes around asking people of authority to get her husband in matches. But apparently, this will be his last match against Neville. If he can't pin Neville, he will no longer get a title shot while Neville is champion.
Can he make him submit to the sharpshooter?
I don't know. That's a good question. That's definitely a good question. I have no idea. But he said specifically pinning. There might be a loophole.
All right.
Bayley takes on NXT's fairy cheerleader Alexa Bliss in a technical and actually really good wrestling bout that ends with a win from the bubbly Bayley. After the match, she calls out Charlotte and begs for a rematch. Charlotte says Bayley earned her respect at TakeOver and accepts a match for next. So there's your main event, probably next week, women's title match.
A main event is a women's match. I love it.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I say that, but who knows? It may not be. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Knowing the WWE, probably not. Yeah.
Probably be some bullshit with Enzo Amore. Speaking of Enzo Amore, Enzo and Big Cass act like morons in a tape segment backstage with that one chick, Carmella. Enzo falls off a treadmill. It's stupid. Apparently, Enzo also has never had a girlfriend.
Oh.
He says
that's unfortunate.
He says they're too much trouble, apparently. So there's that.
Oh wait, so he's been with women. He's just never had a girlfriend.
Correct. I think that was what was implied.
That was the implication. Got it.
That was the implication, I do believe. Speaking of Enzo Amore, he takes on Marcus Louis, who is sporting a very cracked-out-looking wig and held up by a piece of wrestling headgear, which I believe Kurt Angle also did. So
he did, yeah, that's
there's
true.
more of that cyclical sort of stuff going on.
Oh my goodness! This is just if we went down the list of like every single angle on every single Raw show, I wonder, or Raw, SmackDown, WWE, whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder if any of it would actually be new, because Tyler Breeze is basically redoing the Cody Rhodes gimmick, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Writers. Anywho, of course, as you would expect, the headgear comes off during the match, and Enzo wins with a roll-up. I did, however, enjoy Renee Young's comment calling Marcus Louis powder. Like, that was an interesting comparison.
I actually really like Renee Young. I think she's pretty adorable, and she's actually pretty funny, and seems to actually know the product. She's not just kind of like thrown out there. And the fact that she's dating Dean Ambrose is pretty cool too.
I did not know that. I learned something new today.
That's apparently the rumor, or confirmed. I think Adam said it's confirmed that they're dating.
Well, is that a Rundown exclusive, or did he read it?
There you go. Being broken here, just like I broke the story a few months ago of Emma being fired, if you recall.
And she's done so much since then.
Yeah.
Fired, not really doing anything. So basically fired.
Yeah, but still collecting a paycheck, so that's good for her.
That's very true. Your main event is a tag team rematch. The champs, the Lucha Dragons, take on the Ascension. The Dragons actually, as much as I give them a lot of hate, actually really impressed in this match with a ton of really awesome, fast, cool, creative tag team moves that I don't know if I've seen all of before, so that's pretty cool. But, however, no shocker here, the Ascension lose the rematch, but it comes after an interruption from Hideo Itami. Itami then cuts down the Big Tree Connor after the Ascension loses, and then we quickly, sloppily go off the air. So that was our NXT thoughts.
Interesting. Yeah, it sounds like fun, but I've still never actually watched an episode of it. What's the name of the Japanese gentleman?
Hideo Itami.
Okay, this isn't Kenta,
this
is it?
is the Kenta. This is
It
Kenta.
is Kenta, okay, because I
Yes,
remember hearing that they were bringing him over, and now they've given him a different name,
yes,
as they always tend to do.
Right, and actually it was kind of interesting the way they handle it this time. He came in as Kenta on his debut, whatever, in a segment. And when he came in, he basically cut this promo saying, I am Kenta, but I want to go by and pay homage to people that I really appreciate, so I'm going to now go by the name of Hideo Itami. So there is that. So it was kind of neat that they weren't just like, oh, we're not going to mention this guy as this Kenta guy. They're actually going to acknowledge it and then move on to a new gimmick. So
yeah, I want to go by the name Michael McGillicuddy in tribute to.
Yeah, one of those. So
in fairness, now looking back at repackaging Bryan Danielson as Daniel Bryan, it's a lot easier to chant Daniel Bryan than Bryan Danielson. So maybe they were on to something.
I think they were. In that case, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes.
But they still fucked up with McGillicuddy.
They really did. It's okay. They fixed it. We're good.
They did. Yeah, it's still a terrible name, but
it still definitely is.
Yeah.
Moving on to SmackDown, we've got Miz versus Ambrose.
Excuse me.
Whoa. Yes, sir.
Could you say the correct title of the
show? Sorry. We're heading on to Friday Night Smackhoon.
There you go. Thank you.
I apologize. The Miz versus Ambrose kicks off the night. Sandow distracts throughout the match. Near the end, Kane and Rollins emerge from out of nowhere. Miz goes for the skull-crushing finale, but Ambrose reverses into Dirty Deeds to pick up the victory. After the match, Ambrose steals the briefcase. What I think was maybe going to be a start of a new feud, but the little I saw of Raw, not fully. So we'll get there.
I will say, by the way, just regarding this episode of SmackDown, I typically don't watch SmackDown. I typically just watch Raw, and I see what was recapped on SmackDown.
Yeah,
but it seemed like this episode actually had some noteworthy stuff on it.
Absolutely.
Like, you had the briefcase stealing, and you had 2 title matches and a battle royal to determine a #1 contender. So it seemed like this wasn't just kind of like a throwaway episode.
No, I agree. I think it was actually a good episode too. It was.
I agree.
There was a lot there. So if you missed the SmackDown, go back and watch it on the old Hulu or interwebs or wherever it is you watch.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
It was. Speaking of that Battle Royal that you mentioned, the Battle Royal for the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship, Bo gets the first 2 eliminations, which I thought was noteworthy. The NOD faction worked together throughout, although I still don't know what they're doing with that, if anything.
More on them later.
Okay, excellent. Final 4 are Bo, Cesaro, Kofi, and Swagger. Cesaro dominates and becomes the #1 contender after, I believe, picking up Kofi Kingston, throwing him into Swagger, and they both go toppling over the top rope.
Really cool spot. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And I also like the fact that Cesaro, because he won, a couple months ago, obviously the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, so they're being consistent there, having him win another one.
Absolutely.
Makes him look like a legit threat in those matches.
Absolutely.
I think he lost the Intercontinental Title Battle Royal they had a couple months ago, but.
I need to stop recording for a second.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Should I stop as well or keep it running?
Pisser. Something happened with the recording. It was not recording us. Fuck.
The whole time?
Apparently the whole time. I don't know what just happened.
Yeah.
I had this set up yesterday to record stuff for my podcast, and it worked just fine. And for some reason,
it does stay live. It still says live.
We are live, but my Audacity was not recording. So.
Oh no.
There we go. That
Take
fucking
2.
sucks. I guess we're gonna have to go back. I apologize. Your food's gonna get a little bit colder. Or I could try to cut it from the original. But I don't know. That's going to be a lot of work. So.
Well, if we're live on the Google Hangouts, you could possibly just take the audio from that. I don't know if that's doable, but
it might be, and I'm not sure how to. I wonder how you do that.
You can go to like one of those websites. Like there's one like YouTube to MP3, where you can just take the audio from a YouTube video.
I will just see if I can grab that and then pull it from Audacity, so we don't have to start over in the last however many minutes of the podcast.
Yeah, work a little magic.
All right. Do you want to? Which means that I don't necessarily. I mean, I would go ahead and stop your recording, and then
okay.
And then maybe save it just in case. Like maybe well, I don't know. Either way, either stop or pause it for a second until I get started again, and then
okay.
Like you can say if you don't want to restart the whole thing or have to export that bit, you can just pause it if you want.
I'll stop it just to be safe, because I think before I went to, there was a time when, never mind.
Okay.
Long story, but I'll just.
I think the problem was I was on my Google when I logged into the Hangout when I basically was put in charge. I had to change my settings on there, so it probably changed my settings in my Audacity too, thinking I was using a different microphone. All right. Convert YouTube videos to MP3. All right. I bet that's probably all I need to do. So yeah. I will.
Strictly speaking, I don't know if it's legal to do, but you know.
Well, it's our property, so whatever.
That's true. That is true.
So we'll pick up where we left off, and I will do a little bit of editing magic tonight and just pull that audio off at the beginning.
Nice. And are you an expert editor?
I am learning slowly. Like my first episode of this new podcast, ridiculous amount of editing work I've had to do. I think it's took me like 10 hours to put together a 20-minute podcast. It was crazy. Just because I was so new to everything. So
well,
I should be able to. I should be able to do this through using Audacity and Reaper. Should be able to put it all together. Hey, we have a viewer. Hey, viewer. Hey. Leave us some comments while we're getting through this hiccup here.
Hello, viewer.
Hello, viewer.
Make sure you switch over to Q&A so you can actually ask us questions.
Absolutely.
It may be Casey. Casey, are you the viewer? No, yeah, it's not Casey. All right, good.
Oh, fantastic. We're actually a real viewer. All right, so we are going to. Are you ready to record? Or you need another second to maybe.
Yep, just give me a moment.
Absolutely. So, fans, here's what, as a quick, our fan that's listening right now off the air, off the actual recording. In case you're wondering, I'm not an expert at this. So, when I'm using Adam's account, logged in, screwed up my recording through Audacity, and realized about 10 minutes in that I wasn't recording. So, I'm going to rip the audio. I'm going to pull that off and just slap it at the beginning of our discussion, and we should be fine. There might be a dip in the audio quality at the beginning then, but we'll make it work.
Maybe it'll even sound better. Who knows? But yeah, I'm ready to re-record whenever.
All right. Rundown. Episode 171. Continuing. Take 2. In 3, 2, 1. Record. So, moving on in SmackDown.
Yes, indeed. Let's do that.
Let's do that. Usos versus the Dustbusters rematch for the tag team titles. Usos were set to win, but near the end, Goldust gets his team DQ'd by breaking up the pin using the tag team titles. I guess a good way to keep the Gold Stardust as champions, heels sort of thing going. So, good idea, I guess.
I guess. I would have hoped for a more decisive finish, but whatever. You know what really bothers me is the fact that the former champions, once they lose, they get the automatic rematch because no one ever wins the rematch, except apparently in the Miz Dolph Ziggler feud. But other than that, they never win the rematch.
What they should do is they shouldn't do these next night rematches. They should save it for the pay-per-view, do a rematch, either give the titles back if they decide to do that, or have them lose again and end that feud and start someone new.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
I'd be okay with that, too. Up next, it's Natty and Rosa Mendez versus Layla and Summer Rae. Summer screams that she just wants to be friends during this match. Natty calls her a lying piece of crap. This is the shit that we get now, thanks to Total Divas. 10/9 Central, Sunday nights on E!
Oh, yeah. Is it 10 or is it 9 o'clock?
Maybe it's 10/9 Central. I'm pretty sure it's 9 Central.
Okay. Gotcha.
JBL makes... go ahead, sorry.
No, I was saying you would know since you are in the Central time zone.
That is true. I am in the Central time zone. JBL makes fun of Rosa during the match, saying that when she gets in the ring, the crowd is just going to erupt. Good thing JBL has a nice sense of humor. Speaking of, Rosa spends her time on the apron, not wrestling through most of this, and Rosa eventually does get the tag and is awful.
And it's easy to see why they don't feature her very much. Same with Eva Marie. There's a reason that they shouldn't be in the ring for extended periods of time.
Or ever. That's
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to wonder because the Total Divas has been going now for over a year. I don't know how long they were. Rosa Mendez has been on the roster for many, many years.
Absolutely.
How can she look like? The one thing that bothers me the most is when people. It happens the most in the women's division. I don't know if this is just how they're kind of taught to do it, but when they run the ropes, they don't do it kind of like full force. Like the guys do, they kind of like slow down as they get to the ropes and like barely bounce off, and it's just kind of distracting sometimes because it interrupts the flow a little bit. They're going in slow motion.
And it makes you wonder, like, why they bother to bounce off the ropes if they're not going to get any momentum off of it.
That is true.
It's like, I'm just going to run back here, then run forward.
Whee!
Good times. 2 more matches to go. Cesaro taking on Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship. What, a rematch happening now?
What?
Not even going to bother to, build up, to build this up any, maybe. Anyway, Ziggler wins with a roll-up, but Cesaro was holding the bottom rope. Referee didn't see it. Guess it warrants a rematch at the pay-per-view if they decide to go that route. So there's that.
Or on Monday.
Or on Monday. All right. I guess there's that. Rusev versus the Big Show to close things out. Lana actually gets involved for once. She never does. She always just...
Yeah, that's true.
So she does. She grabs the Big Show's leg when he's going for the knockout punch. Rusev smashes him with a Russian flag before the DQ ending. Rusev remains unpinned. Big Show gets redemption with a big punch at the end, leading to Rusev beating Show, perhaps, hopefully at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, probably not.
You don't think so?
I don't think they'll have Big Show be the guy to end it. I think they have to. At this point, it's been built up so long. I mean, Big Show's not the threat that he used to be. He's not the big fearsome giant. Even though they book him that way, he's not squashing guys left and right like he used to.
Yeah, so that's our hope. That's what Adam and I talked about last week. Our hope is that they let Rusev beat the Big Show, and that's his last big proving grounds before he takes on Sheamus and wins the U.S. title, and then becomes the Russian champion, although it'll still be the U.S. title, obviously. And some big name person will eventually take the title off him at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Or I thought Adam was saying that Cena was potentially the one who was in line to defeat Rusev.
I hope not. I really hope not.
Yeah. I mean, it would make sense if you need a big name to end his streak, but they could probably give the rub to somebody else. I don't know.
I think so.
I did suggest Adam Rose, since he's also undefeated, but,
That is scarily true.
Yeah.
That is really
or dare
true.
I say perhaps the Bunny.
The Bunny is also undefeated, is it not?
I think he is, yes.
I believe
she.
She. I believe going to be revealed as we talked about in the show a couple weeks ago, going to be revealed as Darren Young, even though we have clearly seen the white skin underneath of the bunny costume.
Yeah.
So there's that.
The sad thing is, it'll be the most over Darren Young has ever been, as being a bunny, which is too bad because I used to like the primetime players a lot. I thought they
Me too.
But no, Bunny. That's the way to go. Got to go Bunny.
There you go. So, Mr. Reigns.
Indeed.
I believe that you watched Raw.
Yeah, I was actually trying to keep my recap brief, but I still ended up with a shitload of notes.
That's okay. I didn't quite go the Adam route. I kind of did a mix of just kind of quickly, but still giving the story moment. So
yeah, I'll give you the recap. I'll give you the recap, and we can talk about the noteworthy moments.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah. So we are live from Chicago, Illinois, and I know what you're thinking. The crowd was probably very vocal in support of a certain former WWE superstar from Chicago, and it's true. The chants for D'Lo Brown were deafening. So now right off the bat, I want to mention, in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness, the middle ring rope is now pink, and the announcers and on-camera personalities are all wearing their Susan G. Boyle ribbons. So we're back to that. And so, opening up with the show, we had a clusterfuck. Triple H and Stephanie come to the ring. They get interrupted by Paul Heyman, who was unhappy about Rollins trying to cash in on Brock at Night of Champions. Seth interrupts and apologizes. Heyman leaves, and Seth then turns his attention toward Ambrose, who still has the briefcase, obviously. Dean shows up on the Titantron and says Seth should come take the briefcase back from him. Seth heads up the ramp, but John Cena appears, gets a few shots in on him before Rollins scampers through the crowd. We go backstage a little later, and Triple H then tells, of all people, Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury to track down Ambrose for him, because who would be better for that job than two 5'9" career jobbers?
That's awesome.
Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury, your 2014 Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe.
I love it. See, and that's circular.
That's right.
It's very circular. I do have to note. I did not watch Raw. But just listening to that opening segment, so they did obviously open the door to remind people, hey, we have this world champion guy, Brock Lesnar, that you might have forgotten about because, he never shows up. But they cut that short, it sounds, like very short. It was just kind of like, weird, hey, remember, I watched over the champion. It's
yeah. Literally, I think it was just an excuse to have Paul Heyman come out, because they could have done the segment without him coming out and mentioning Brock, because basically Seth was like, yeah, I'm sorry. He literally apologized to Heyman, and then he was going to leave, and Triple H Triple H initially got in Heyman's face, but then he extended a hand and was like, I appreciate the conversation, or something like that, or I really enjoyed our conversation. Then Heyman just walked away. So I think they were just trying to shoehorn Heyman into the show somehow.
Yeah.
But I mean, they could have just done the segment with Rollins calling out Ambrose and just going from there. But whatever.
Yeah, whatever works.
So Seth was sorry that he tried to cash in on Brock.
Oh.
Don't know if he's disingenuous or not. I'm going to assume probably, but they didn't play it off that way. So
I don't know. I guess we'll find out when he tries to cash in at the next pay-per-view.
Exactly, or the next time Brock shows up,
which will probably be like SummerSlam.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
I meant to say Survivor Series, but SummerSlam works. That's probably just realistic. It could be that realistic. Anyway.
Could very well be. So then we had the opening match, not quite a rematch from SmackDown, but it was an Intercontinental title triple threat match. Champion Dolph Ziggler versus Cesaro versus The Miz. Easily the match of the night, and it ended when Miz came off the top rope, but Cesaro hit him with a European uppercut, but Ziggler reemerged to toss Cesaro out of the ring, and then he just pinned Miz himself to retain the title. Yeah, nice. Off an uppercut, which wasn't even a finisher. It's just off the uppercut. But, yeah,
but
really
it's to the face. It's to the face, man.
That's true.
It's his money.
And Miz was coming off the top. Of course, the weird thing is, Miz coming off the top rope, and you have no idea what move he was going for. That he's basically just jumping into an uppercut. But otherwise, it was a solid match. It also gave one of my favorite spots that I've seen in recent memory, where Miz. Or excuse me, it was Miz trying to do a sunset flip on Cesaro, or whichever it was the other way around. I don't know. So let's just say it was Miz doing a sunset flip from the ring apron into the ring on Cesaro, and he's doing the thing where he's trying to get Cesaro down to the ground. Cesaro's holding the ropes, but Ziggler walked up to Miz and slingshotted Miz's head right into Cesaro's dick. It was fantastic. Very innovative spot.
That is definitely a new spot. I've never seen that before. I've never seen the cock slingshot. That's amazing.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
And I did have it backwards. Excuse me. Cesaro. It was Cesaro's head going into Miz's dick. My mistake.
Okay.
I want to make sure I have my facts correct. But yes, that was pretty cute.
That is nice.
Yeah. So that was good. And maybe I think JR was saying something about this earlier this week, where he's hoping Dolph Ziggler is going to kind of restore a little bit of the prestige to the Intercontinental title if he gets a nice long run. That was, I guess, what Jim Ross was saying he was hoping for, which seems like a great idea to me. I mean, Ziggler's obviously fantastic, and the Intercontinental title, it doesn't have to just languish on The Miz. So, I'm in favor of it.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah. So next up, the 2014 Stooges search for Ambrose backstage, but they find Adam Rose and his partiers and the Great Khali. Now, I don't mean to spoil anything, but the Great Khali is the guy in the bunny costume. There, I said it.
Oh, God.
That's what they're going with. You thought it was Darren Young? No, Great Khali. We then actually, it's the ultimate swerve.
It is.
So we then strangely got a vignette of Bray Wyatt putting over Luke Harper and how he, quote, saved him, because I guess fuck Eric Rowan? That guy sucks, I guess? I don't know.
I'm hoping next week. I hope next week they'll do another promo for Rowan then, because that would not make sense to do one but not the other.
Yeah, well, I guess the rumors are that the vignette is leading to a Luke Harper singles push. So I mean, of the two, Luke Harper is obviously the much more talented over Rowan. I mean, Rowan seems really limited in what he can do, but Luke Harper's like throwing suicide dives around.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, yeah, he's always entertained me in the matches he's been in. But
definitely, he is the stronger link. That is for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to lead to him breaking off from Bray Wyatt, but they're saying that Harper might, get the singles push. Maybe Bray's going to be managing him for a bit. I have no idea.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, we shall see. We then go backstage again, where Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury say they couldn't find Ambrose. They walk up to the Authority. Steph then spots mustard on Jamie's face, so she asks if he stopped for a hot dog. And you will recall in that previous segment, Adam Rose was hanging out with his partiers, and he used to have a hot dog in his entourage. So I think they might subtly be trying to say that Jamie blew that guy, but I don't know for sure.
I thought you were going for a cannibalism joke, but I think that works too.
Or that.
I didn't know where you were going. I wasn't sure. But yeah, probably.
Yeah. And then Miz and Damien Mizdow show up and complain about Miz losing the match earlier, and Triple H basically shits on their gimmick and laughs at them, and he then puts Sandow in a match with Sheamus later tonight. Hunter then says that Miz has a, quote, straight-to-DVD career, which is a pretty amusing statement coming from the guy who starred in Inside Out and The Chaperone.
Sure. I liked The Chaperone, scarily enough. I really did enjoy The Chaperone. I
never saw it.
Actually, I laughed a decent amount. It was very predictable, but it was funny. It was funny.
Huh. Our former co-host actually reviewed The Chaperone way back in the day when it was first out on DVD. I don't mean Adam as the former co-host. I mean the initial.
I think that is an announcement in itself. Adam, you are no longer on the show. We're booting you because we're going to pod-vid anyway when you have this baby. So just
there you go.
You're gone.
That's right. Yeah, but he was not a fan of The Chaperone back in the day. But maybe never watched it. It's probably on Netflix or on demand or something.
Oh, it's on Netflix. It's on the. That's why I watched it. I wasn't going to pay for it. So.
I wonder if Inside Out is on Netflix. Nobody even remembers that one.
I don't know. I don't even know if I remember that at all.
Fair enough. So next up we had Layla versus Rosa Menzies, and at ringside.
Sorry.
No, there's a typo. I'm sorry. At ringside, Natalya and Tyson Kidd argue because Tyson is listening to his iPod instead of focusing on the match. Now, I must admit, at first I was on Natalya's side, but then I actually watched the match, and let's just say that Tyson had the right idea. So Layla wins with a neckbreaker. Then Natty and Tyson continue to bicker, and it should be noted the only reason we're getting this storyline between the two of them is because they're discussing getting a divorce on the current episode of Total Divas, was of course filmed about 4 months ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this angle, Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, do you think that he was listening to the rundown on his iPod?
Ooh, yeah, that's very possible actually. Shout out to Tyson Kidd.
Tyson Kidd? What?
Big rundown fan, just like Santino Marella, and who else was a listener? I don't even know. I think Headbanger Thrasher. Adam was saying last week.
Michael Cole, I don't know.
Right.
Everyone's involved in the rundown. We're a cultural icon with under 500 followers on Facebook.
That's true. But soon they will increase.
Very soon. It might have this week. I don't know. I didn't check. I had the numbers, but I didn't know if they went up. I don't know.
Let's just assume that they did.
Let's just assume we have. I'm going to make the announcement now. We have 5,000 listeners right now, or 5,000 fans on Facebook, and about 20 million on Twitter.
I think that's accurate.
I think so too. You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first.
Indeed. Oh, and the Big Show once responded to Adam's tweet as well. I think
it's true. He did, and I also had Bob Holly favorite one of my tweets, so that was amusing.
Oh yes, that's right. I forgot.
that was amusing.
I want to get Hardcore Holly on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
Him and Headbanger Thrasher and Big Show. We can do a panel.
Oh my God, it'd be so much better than the panel for the pay-per-views. Sorry. Special event.
Oh yeah, right. So basically, Total Divas is going to open a wormhole in the space-time continuum through this angle. So that's the moral of the story.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So next up, Dean Ambrose came to the ring with the Money in the Bank briefcase and a duffel bag. He sets up a table in the ring and sits the briefcase on top of it. He then starts throwing merchandise into the crowd, which he openly admits that he stole. Noble and Mercury return with Seth Rollins and security guards. Ambrose calls Noble and Mercury, quote, the cruiserweight division, and then says that he thought the security guys were rosebuds last week. So that makes Dean Ambrose officially your new Vince Russo.
Nice.
Ambrose then leaves the ring without the briefcase, tells Seth he can take it, and he walks off through the crowd. So Seth opens the briefcase and gets what appears to be an exploding dye pack full of Nickelodeon slime in his face, and also on his breast cancer awareness ribbon, which I personally found disrespectful. So then Seth flipped out.
He was just making it green for like lymphoma. It's okay.
Oh, okay, there you go.
There you go.
For slime awareness.
Yes, for slime awareness month.
Then Seth flipped out and acted like it was the most humiliating thing which has ever happened to him until someone then reminded him that his ring name in Scott County Wrestling used to be Gix.
It's true. It was Gix. I called Gix. I'm pretty sure, maybe not his first match, but I'm pretty sure I called a Gix match somewhere along the line.
That's awesome. I hope there is footage of that somewhere.
There might be. I don't even know.
Awesome.
I've got a couple DVDs. He wasn't Gix. He was Tyler Black. So.
Okay. I have no idea why he gave up Gix. Can't imagine.
I don't know. He could be Gix right now, making the big money at WWE.
Did he look basically the same as he did now? It wasn't a gimmick. It was just him calling himself Gix.
Kind of. If I remember correctly, there was like, I mean, he didn't. The black and white hair thing is kind of new. That was new in when he didn't really do that, I think, fully until Ring of Honor, if I remember correctly. Like he kind of went with that full sort of look. But yeah, I mean, he was just kind of, I can't even remember. I'll have to look up. I bet I could find a picture somewhere of him as Gix.
All right.
It's got to be a new.
Because if his gimmick was like space alien and he was calling himself Gix, I'm on board. I'm on board for that.
It was mostly just him as himself, but
okay.
Younger, and I think his hair was dyed a weird color or something.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, after that dye pack to the face, his hair was now dyed green.
There you go. Becomes Gix.
Not really, but close enough. That's right. Or he could change it to Gax because it was Nickelodeon Gax. Got him in the face.
That would be awesome.
Just spitballing here. You can, as you've mentioned before, you can take these notes to him and he can pass them along to creators.
I will. We'll talk over dinner tonight. It's okay.
Okay, perfect. All right. So backstage after commercial break, even the Authority are laughing at Seth getting slimed, and Triple H schedules Ambrose and Cena versus Kane and Orton as tonight's main event. They then all stand around wondering what's vibrating, and they look toward the briefcase. Seth reemerges. It's an electric razor and storms off. Now, in the previous segment, Ambrose had told us that Seth keeps some scandalous things inside the briefcase, so I'm 99% sure that the joke here was supposed to be that Seth keeps a vibrator inside the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah, that was the joke, and then they revealed the shaver.
They didn't actually. He just kind of said it.
Okay.
Yeah, if they had, that would have made sense. But I mean, in theory, it could still be a vibrator. We don't know.
Which I think is probably the joke. Which are you sure Vince Russo didn't get a job back with WWE?
Maybe he ghost wrote that segment.
I love this. This is kind of wacky. I like it.
Yeah, basically, much like each day of the week, every WWE attempt at a joke ends with "why." But anyway. I will say, though, the dye pack exploding in his face got a good reaction from the crowd, and I thought it was pretty funny. Because you're watching it, you're kind of like, wow, why did Ambrose just give up the briefcase so easily? And then, of course, Seth opens it and just bam, right in the face.
Sounds like an interesting special effect.
Pretty amusing. Yeah.
But
I was actually half hoping it was going to just explode, but
oh my god, that'd be so cool. Good. Just pyros just go off?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Ambrose is suddenly like a terrorist leaving a bomb inside a briefcase.
So what it should be, what he should have done was he opens it, and it's like a snake jumps out, one of those rubber like coil snakes.
Nice.
And he's like, "Oh, that's so stupid." And he gets on the mic. He's like, "What are you thinking? That you're gonna scare me?" And then it blows up. And then it's be amazing.
Perfect.
There you go.
Like Macho Man and Elizabeth's wedding all over again.
Good times.
So anyway, next up.
Cyclical.
That's exactly.
Right.
All comes full circle, just like that. Full circle.
It takes a lot of effort for you to go full circle. It's like you can't do that with a finger. It's like a whole arm action.
The whole thing. I could do the whole body as well.
Nice.
There we go.
For our one viewer, they will enjoy that.
They will. Well, they can go back and watch it on YouTube later.
Yeah, and by the way, viewer, you haven't been giving us questions to pipe in with, so make sure you get on the old Q&A, and
That's right.
we'll get to you.
Go to the top, click the box that looks like 9 little mini boxes, and you can switch it over to Q&A instead of Showcase, and you're good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So next up, Mark Henry comes to the ring to apologize for losing to Rusev yet again, but he immediately gets interrupted by... Would you care to take a guess who interrupts him?
I know who interrupts him, so...
Okay.
Because they talk about it on Main Event.
Okay, there you go. Well, it is, of course, Bo Dallas. Bo says Mark doesn't have to apologize to the fans. He has to apologize to himself. It's time to close the Hall of Pain and join the Hall of Bo Leavers. Now, this leads to a match which Bo surprisingly wins quickly and cleanly when Mark misses a Vader bomb and Bo then hits him with the Bo Dog for the 3 count. So basically, Mark Henry lasted 10 minutes with Rusev, couldn't go 2 with Bo Dallas. All right. Yeah. And then we go backstage after the break. Renee is interviewing Bo Dallas, but Henry jumps him from behind and pretty brutally rams one of those carts into him, not once but twice. And I almost feel like this was supposed to be kind of like a Bret Hart, Steve Austin double turn, because why would we want to root for the guy who almost just murdered the happiest character on the show? I don't know. You watched main event, so I guess we'll touch on this later. Maybe you can tell me if Mark Henry acts a little more heelish, but that seemed like super heelish. Yeah.
We'll get there.
Okay. Elsewhere backstage, Goldust and Stardust are still loonier than Canadian currency. Your tag team champions not in a match on the company's flagship 3-hour show, which will become even more inexplicable when you see what's coming up later. Next up, Brie Bella versus Cameron and Eva Marie, a.k.a. the Total Divas D-Squad. Nikki comes out to the ramp before the match and calls Brie a quitter because Chicago is where she quit the company and walked out on the WWE a few months ago. When Brie quit, Nikki had to compete in handicap matches, so tonight Brie gets a taste of her own medicine. Now, personally, I think this feud between Brie and Nikki has gone too far, and with a pay-per-view coming up in a few weeks, I think I know the perfect way to solve it.
How is
Bella versus Bella, Hella in a Cella.
Oh my God! Can you imagine them wasting a Hell in the Cell match on Brie and Nikki Bella?
Mm-hmm.
That would probably make the top of WrestleCrap for like the rest of eternity.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Hell in a Cell. It would be Hella in a Cella. That's the important distinction.
That is a good distinction. But my God, please don't give them ideas because you know they all listen.
Of course, yeah.
Wow.
The rundown is pretty big in the WWE locker room. So
it is. It really is.
Yeah. No one has pitched that idea yet, but you never know. You got to blow off the feud in a big way.
Wow.
Although I feel like this feud is actually going to continue for a long, long time. But anyway.
Oh, sadly, it's probably true if they want to sell Total Divas.
Yeah.
When is the season finale? Because it'll go on until about then.
Yeah, probably about another month or so.
Oh God.
Yeah, you'll find this amusing though. So at one point, Nikki was standing up on the ramp during the match, and they showed her from behind, like an over-the-shoulder camera shot, and it looked like there was a wet spot on her dress right by her ass. So, like, I think she might have either peed a little, made a dookie, or perhaps both. I don't know. If anybody wants to take a screenshot, go back and watch that on Raw, because like they showed it a couple times. Like they showed an over-the-camera shot a couple times, and you could see the stain. And then in subsequent over-the-camera shots, they kind of had the camera up higher, so you couldn't see her ass anymore. So I think it was actually pointed out, like, yeah, she might have peed a little bit.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
that is gorgeous.
Oh, it was. It was indeed. Maybe I'll take a screenshot of that. I think I can just pull it up and we'll see. But
my God.
So, anywho, Brie does some John Cena-esque overcoming of odds as she whips Cameron into Eva, who falls off the apron, and then she rolls up Cameron for the three count. Three count. Excuse me. Next up, Los Matadores versus Slater Gator with Hornswoggle dressed as an alligator because Vince McMahon knows what's hilarious. So Adam Rose was also on commentary next to his Rosebuds because this segment didn't already have enough awful gimmicks. And the match ended when the alligator ran into the ring, but he got run off by El Torito. Slater then knocked one of the distracted Matadors off the second rope and rolled him up for the pinfall.
Huh. Yeah. Well, then, that happened.
It did. And after the match, Slater Gator beat up Torito, so the Bunny and Adam Rose helped out, and it was a fucktastrophe. The only highlight was the Bunny posing with Jesse Jackson at ringside, because you know Jesse was thinking, oh, fuck me, Fox News is going to have a field day with this.
Yes, indeed.
Of all the wrestlers to pose with Jesse Jackson that night, only the Bunny. Only the Bunny.
It's... Wow. You know, I wonder if Adam Rose gave everyone, like had set out like a special punch bowl or a bowl of his special lollipops before the airing of the show, and like everything just went insane weird.
Yeah. Yeah, the show was pretty downhill as of the about an hour and a half in. About halfway through the show just kind of went in the shitter.
And this is why I will always say you do not need a 3-hour wrestling program.
Oh my God. I actually got a chuckle because at the pay-per-view, the most recent one, Night of Champions, somebody I think was holding up a sign that said "Make Raw 4 hours."
My God!
Got a kick out of that, which I can only hope was ironic. But
I really hope so.
Yeah,
it's hard to say.
It is. You never know.
Wrestling fans, you never know.
I want to stay up later. Yeah.
I want to see a whole hour of Brie Bella versus Nikki Bella.
Indeed. Because I mean, back in the day, I think Adam's mentioned this on the podcast before. Like, we used to watch Raw at our dorm room.
Yes.
And I think at the time Raw was 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
And Nitro was 3 toward the end. So we would watch Raw because there was only we'd have to go to there was like a conference room.
Yeah.
And like our dorm rooms, like our actual dorms didn't get USA, so you had to go to the conference room where they had more channels, and then we would go back to our dorm room and watch Nitro at midnight. So we'd be up till like 3 o'clock in the morning on a Monday night when we had classes the next day. So yeah, it was fantastic.
College.
Indeed. So we were actually willing to watch 5 hours of wrestling at that point, but
wow.
Maybe it was the Attitude Era. It was more entertaining.
It was good wrestling. So
it was. Everybody had a character back then. These days, everybody is themselves.
Except for the bunny.
That's true. Except everybody in that last segment.
Exactly.
Other than that, everyone is themselves.
Right.
And maybe Fandango. I guess that's a character too. Other than that, nobody else.
And Bray Wyatt.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, so they have one success story.
It's true. It's very true.
So, anywho, next up, Rusev and Lana come to the ring, and they unfurl the giant Russian flag right away. Big Show quickly interrupts and recaps how he knocked Rusev out on SmackDown. Rusev then actually starts speaking English to Show, including my favorite phrase, "I will kick you in your groin." He then should have said, "And I will send video of that to Russia's funniest home videos and win 10,000 ruble grand prize." But he didn't. He didn't say that.
He totally should have. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So tell me, what was the segment that pissed so many people off or caused the WWE to have to issue an apology?
Oh, well, allow me. So Big Show then makes an inexplicable Big Lebowski reference, Val Venus' dick, and says he's going to go to the ring and knock down a white Russian. So Rusev retreats. Big Show yanks the giant Russian flag down from the ceiling because the WWE is no place for flags that have the colors red, white, and blue. Yeah, that's what caused the controversy.
Gotcha.
I was going to report a little bit more on that later in the news, but
then yeah. we'll save some of the details for there.
We'll touch on that a little later.
All right.
So backstage, Renee interviews John Cena. Cena puts over Ambrose, who shows up in the background, presumably because he doesn't want Cena to be alone with his girlfriend. Ambrose and Cena then bicker over who gets to beat up Rollins after the match is over. Guys, seriously, just put him on the table. We'll see who's bigger. Let's get it over with. Next up, WWE Divas Champion AJ Lee versus Alicia Fox. Before the match, Paige grabs the mic and announces that Alicia is her new best friend because the Divas roster really is that bare. During the match, Paige distracts AJ, so Alicia hits her with the axe kick and gets the victory. After the match, Alicia goes under the ring and grabs cans of Mountain Dew, presumably to pour all over AJ. However, AJ fights her off, but then Paige hits her with a Rampage DDT, and then Alicia just drops the cans of Mountain Dew without opening them. So, what was the point?
Product placement is what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I'd like to think Mountain Dew paid for that product placement and then got really bummed when Alicia didn't douse AJ with it. Like, oh, god damn it. We paid $200,000 for that spot and you didn't even get to see the fact that our beverage looks like a stream of piss as it gets poured out of a can. Son of a bitch.
I love when on the special events when the Mountain Dew is everywhere and most people haven't even opened it.
That's right. Oh, I forgot about that. Right, the commentators have the Mountain Dew sitting in front of them. Yeah,
they always do, and they're like I noticed this last special event that actually they were opened and there was some missing, but it was weird. It was like the exact same amount was missing from each the entire show. It's like Mountain Dew was like, hey, you should probably make it look like you actually are drinking this.
Yeah. So basically, like Jerry Lawler was just like pouring it out under the table throughout the night.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Next up, United States Champion Sheamus versus Damian Mizdow. Sheamus wins with the bro kick as Sanyo continues to tell himself, well, at least I won Money in the Bank that one time. That's pretty much all you need to know. Next up, Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, of all people, comes to the ring wearing a pink Hulkamania shirt. This time, instead of whoring the WWE Network, he's pimping breast cancer. And once again, I'm pretty sure he fucked up the one job he had when he said we could watch the superstars and divas on the, quote, WWE Universe, and I'm also 99% sure. I rewound this part a couple times. This was the amusing part. I'm 99% sure he said Coleman Mania instead of Komen Mania. So a quick Google search. Susan G. Coleman is an IT director in Chandler, Arizona, in case anyone was wondering. And yeah,
I
I'm
get
pretty
those two
sure she
confused
doesn't
all the
like
time.
breast cancer either.
I get those two confused all the time.
All the time.
All the time. We lost our one viewer. How sad.
Oh, tragic.
Oh,
Probably because he couldn't comment. He didn't know how to do it.
no.
And finally, your main event, John Cena and Dean Ambrose versus Randy Orton and Kane. So this was an okay match. Cena plays the face in peril, which is not to be confused with Seth Rollins, whose actual face was in peril earlier when slime was shot into it. Ambrose eventually hits Dirty Deeds on Orton, but Seth runs in to break up the pinfall for the disqualification. After the match, the heels overwhelm Ambrose and Cena, and each one of them gets a curb stomp, a Seth penalty.
Thank you.
Face first onto the briefcase for the troubles. The show goes off the air with Seth, Orton, and Kane standing tall, and I'm presuming CM Punk showed up right after the show went off the air to give them their comeuppance. Your thoughts on this episode of Raw?
It sounds...
That you didn't watch.
It sounds out there. It sounds out there.
It was pretty terrible.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because SmackDown's great
than Raw. Yeah, exactly.
That's so weird.
Really,
it's like they mix up the scripts. It's really weird.
Yeah. But SmackDown is only 2 hours, which I think gives it an advantage. But even with the 2 hours, like I said, we had 2 title matches. We had Ambrose stealing the briefcase. There was some significant stuff going on.
Absolutely.
So,
marching ahead to main event, Jack Swagger and Cesaro reignite their old rivalry to start off the show during a commercial break. I have to note that the Divas get gangbanged on the newest episode of Total Divas.
Ooh, all right.
Gangbanged or deal with ex-gang members. I can't remember actually which one it was.
Oh, I see.
One of the two.
I saw the preview for it. I think it's one of the Divas brothers is like turning into a life of crime, so they do one of those like scared straight things where they bring in the convicts to scare the shit out of him. And that dude had like a tattooed face. That was pretty fucking scary.
That is frightening. Anywho, really good opening match here. Ends with Cesaro picking up a big victory. Natty once again interrupts someone in charge, talking this time to talking once again about Tyson Kidd. This time to Kane. They bicker. That Tyson Kidd and Natty, that is. And then Tyson gets tossed into a match with Kofi Kingston. Kidd surprisingly picks up the win. Surprisingly picks up the win with the sharpshooter, and then proceeds to ignore his wife and celebrate in the ring.
Love it. It's like Daniel Bryan and AJ all over again.
It really is. Cyclical. That's I think that's our going to be our title maybe. We get some recaps from Raw with Ambrose and Cena suffering the Seth penalty. Then we get that weird Wyatt promo, which you already talked about. Mark Henry is shown his loss on Raw to Bo Dallas, and then the frustrating attack afterwards. He takes on Bo once again tonight because today is a new day. And
it's a new day, but it all... Oh, sorry.
It's a new day, and he's going to throw Bo around like a lawn dart because that's what he does.
Like Rey Mysterio when the NWO attacked him?
Yes, that's what he says. We'll find out. Layla and Summer take on Brie Bella, 2-on-1. Brie wins, blah, blah, blah.
Wow, she's really overcoming the odds.
She really is, just like her husband. Bo, although that's not working out for him too well right now. But anyway, no. Bo says he comes to the ring and he says he's sore, but not as sore as that sore loser he defeated on Raw, Mark Henry. He needs to find a way to channel his energy, his aggression, Mark Henry does, like a hobby, because, he likes to eat. Maybe he should try cooking, or maybe he could try hot yoga, or perhaps meditation, or the ultimate in all hobbies, Bo leaving. Henry gets himself disqualified in the match by not stopping kicking Dallas in the corner over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Wrestling is no place for wrestling moves.
Yes, not at all. A frustrated Henry delivers then 2 World's Strongest Slams to Bo after the match, and Bo looks like anything but a winner as we go off the air. So that is our main event.
Sounds like it was more fun than Raw.
It was. It really was.
Yeah.
All right, so that's your week in wrestling. We're going to forego a few of our normal stuff here. Don't forget, we do have the Rundown Showdown. Check the Facebook and the Twitter for links. We're going to hold off until next week for that. Give you a little extra time to vote. If you do not remember, it is Al Wilson's funeral versus Vince McMahon's death scenes. So,
which in fairness, only one of them was an actual death scene.
Right.
The other was more of a paralyzation.
Right. It was. It was.
Yeah.
So vote for which one. Go on to Facebook. Vote for which one of those two you believe is the worst segment, and they'll move on in the Rundown Showdown. So no Dear WWE this week, but I do believe, Sean, I do believe you have. Oh, sorry, Raccoon Reigns. I do believe.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. Have it. I do believe that you have some trivia.
I do.
Oh, fantastic.
Apparently I think when we did that poll a couple weeks ago, some of the people said they wanted the trivia to be an every week thing. So I'm here, and I have 3 for all.
All
and
right.
if you recall, yeah, you can play this one on your own.
Okay.
You don't need Adam around for this one.
Well, that just means I win, so or lose, whichever you want to look at it.
True. I actually think, didn't you beat Adam in 3 for all the last time you guys played?
I actually believe I am the current reigning 3 for all champion.
Perfect. There you go.
There we go. I'm going to defend it against myself.
There you go. And for those of you listening at home, if you don't recall, the gimmick of 3 for all is that I give you 3 categories. Andy picks 1, and whichever categories he does not pick will get rolled over to next week. 5 rounds of 3 categories apiece. So, kicking it off, Andy, your first round, the categories you get to choose from are Mark Henry, questions about Mark Canterbury, a.k.a. Henry O. Godwin. After that, for the low, low price of $9.99, questions about Terry Runnels. And I get all of my information from PN News, questions about wrestlers mentioned in rap lyrics.
Oh, good Lord. Those are all beautiful. I'm going to go with the Mark Henry one.
Oh, there you go. I think this may be the longest-running category that no one has picked.
I'm good for that. I'm good for using the oldies.
Perfect. Your first question. When Henry O. Godwin debuted with the WWF in 1994, he was initially a heel who frequently helped out which stable?
94. I remember him debuting as a heel. I do remember that. What stable would have been around in the... I'm going to say, probably wrong, but I'm going to go with the $1 Million Corporation.
That is correct.
Hey, 1 for 1.
Very good. Which I don't remember at all. It seems like a really strange fit. I'm assuming DiBiase was probably just using him because he was a fucking hog farmer. So
yeah, no, absolutely. He had. I mean, you don't remember him using him, or you don't remember the corporation?
No, I don't remember the corporation using him. I remember the corporation,
okay.
but
okay, gotcha.
Yeah. The original corporation.
Yeah, that's exactly cyclical.
Oh, that's once again.
There you go. Once again.
Didn't even think of that. We're overdue for another corporation, I guess. Maybe the Authority counting.
Yeah, they kind of are.
Yeah. Next question. In 1997, Godwin suffered a cracked C7 vertebrae when which tag team botched their finishing move on him?
97?
97.
Body Donnas.
It was actually the Legion of Doom, and it was pretty brutal.
That was my second guess.
Yeah, they do the Doomsday device, and he just landed right on his neck.
Ugh, awful.
Yeah. Your third question. In 1998, the Godwins dropped their pig farmer gimmicks, started wearing suits, and began using their real names. What was the name of their new team?
I don't remember that gimmick.
Yeah, it was pretty brief. They were bodyguards for Jeff Jarrett.
Really?
Yeah.
So what was the name of their team?
Yeah.
Pigs Incorporated. I have no idea.
Nice. Pigs Incorporated is correct. No.
That'd be awesome.
It was actually Southern Justice.
Really?
Yeah, Southern Justice.
How long did that last?
Probably a couple months.
Huh, I do not recall. Interesting.
Not very long. And then Henry Godwin eventually left, and Dennis Knight became Midian at some point.
Absolutely. Which if you listen to last week's episode, we talked about that particular scene. It was interesting.
Did you watch the scene of The Undertaker?
I watched it, and it was really disturbing. I must have blocked that out.
Fans, if you're listening at home, The Undertaker slit his wrists and had Dennis Knight drink it so he could absorb his power, which obviously did not work very well. But Dennis Knight then became Midian. And
he cut his chest. He cut the symbol of the Undertaker on Midian's chest. So there was that.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That actually happened on a Monday Night Raw.
That's why we don't have an Attitude Era anymore. I don't think that's probably one of the reasons.
Sometimes for every hit you get with the Undertaker, like him crucifying Steve Austin, you get Midian drinking the Undertaker's blood.
Yeah. There's that. There is that. And they probably worried about hepatitis or something now. So.
Well, if they're not, they should be.
That
was the power he was referring to.
I think we have something on the side over there.
Oh, we do. What's on?
We do. Do you want to get that, Mr. Raccoon?
Oh, you can read it. It's.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I have bad vision.
Of course. It's not nighttime. The Infomaniac. I can't even say that. Infomaniac. Haha. The Infomaniac says, I got it. It says, hello, Hammerheads. How's it going? Yeah, we're great. Found this hangout. Thought I might check it out. Hey, well, welcome aboard,
Welcome.
sir.
Shark Attack.
Oh, Shark Attack is back. Bring it on. All right.
He said something else.
He said, I found the hangout. Thought I might check it out. So.
Oh, perfect. Excellent.
Welcome aboard. Hope you enjoy.
Welcome aboard. Feel free to play the trivia game along with us.
He's British, by the way. He says.
Excellent.
Bloody Brit. Love it. All right.
Cross the pond. Your next round. Okay.
Bring it on.
Here's your next round of questions. Your categories are the location where you can find an overweight husband, an alcoholic wife, and 2 shitty children. Questions about the pay-per-views called In Your House. After that, disciples of a lot of dicks. Questions about the Total Divas roster. And I'm a Paul London guy. Questions about Brian Kendrick.
Oh, God. I'm going to go with the Divas.
Nice. Okay. At the 2010 Survivor Series, Natalya won her first Divas Championship in a handicap match against which 2 divas?
Ooh, 2010. Let's see. Who would Natty have been? Who was even around? Alicia Fox and Rosa Mendez. I don't know.
Good guess, but it was Team Laycool. So it was Layla and Michelle McCool.
Fantastic.
Question 2. On Season 3 of NXT, which current Total Divas cast member finished in 2nd place behind Caitlyn?
Who finished 2nd place behind Caitlyn on the
3rd season of NXT?
3rd season of NXT.
The competition NXT, not the current incarnation.
Right. Okay, so this is a category about the Total Divas roster, so it must be a Total Diva.
It is.
I'm going to go with... let me think. Oh, no, that was before. Trying to think who's on Total Divas. 10-9 Central on E. Shoot. How about we go with JoJo? I don't know.
I don't think she's on the cast anymore.
Is she not? Is she gone?
She's gone, I think. Well, She might still be on the roster, but she's not on Total Divas.
Okay.
The answer was actually Naomi.
Naomi, really?
Indeed. 2nd place behind Caitlyn, of all people.
I should not have chosen this category. All right.
Yeah. Well, it'll save us Adam choosing it, because he never would. It would just languish there forever.
It really, really would.
But maybe you'll get this one. The Bella Twins returned to the WWE on a March 2013 episode of Raw, briefly beginning a run where they managed which tag team?
They managed a tag team in 2013. Who did they manage?
Very briefly, right when they came back. After being fired.
Nice. Let's see. Oh, man. Who the hell did they... I'm going to go with... Team Hell No, even though I know it's way wrong.
It is not Team Hell No. It was Team Rhodes Scholars, actually.
Really?
Indeed.
That is bizarre. I do not remember that at all.
Yeah, it was pretty brief. Is the Infomaniac saying something else over here?
Yeah. Let me clear off the Q&A a little bit here.
Oh, of course.
Because I've never had to do this before, so that's new. Yes, the Infomaniac says the best place to find any scumbag is at 22 Council Flat, Bellin Street. Lol. That's I will have to take your word for that, sir. I will certainly take your word. Absolutely. If anyone's gonna know about that place, I'm gonna assume it's a Brit.
Yeah.
All right. So I've gotten one whole point, right? Is that
you
is
did?
that true?
I think that's right.
Okay. All right. Well,
your next round. This is a category I initially created for St. Patrick's Day. Irish wrestling legends. Questions about Sheamus, Finlay, and Ken Shamrock. After that, eat, sleep, beat your girlfriend. Questions about Chaz. And
oh my God. Nice.
And hello, rabies. Questions about wrestlers with animal mascots.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
In honor of you, sir. In honor of you.
Oh, thank you. I hope I don't have rabies, but you never know.
Hey, it's okay. I got the shot. We're good.
Oh, excellent. Okay. So basically, I'll give you the mascot, and you tell me what the name of the mascot was. So the first one, the British Bulldog's bulldog?
That would be Matilda.
That's correct.
Yeah, 2.
Second one, Al Snow's Chihuahua friend who the Big Boss Man cooked and fed to him.
Oh. What was that dog's name? Oh my God. Taco. I don't know.
No, it was Pepper.
Pepper. Oh, Pepper. I remember.
He turned him into Pepper Steak.
Oh, he did. Good times.
And the third one, this is a tough one. Jake the Snake Roberts' Snake when he returned to the WWF in 1996. It was not Damien anymore.
It wasn't Damien. I remember that. And that was when he was Christian.
That's right.
So it was.
You're definitely on the right track with this.
I can't remember. Was it Michael?
No, it was actually, strangely, Revelations.
Revelations, really?
That was the name of the snake. Fucking Revelations.
That's interesting. I did not know. I remember the Christian angle, so I just wasn't sure where they were going with it. So
yeah, well, it's funny how things work out because without that Christian angle, we might never get Austin 316.
That is very true.
Yeah, he was mocking Jake Roberts when he gave that promo. So
that is definitely very true.
Yeah. Looks like we have some more comments on the side here as well.
Infomaniac says, "I thought you guys should know that I am autistic." Well, that's fantastic. I all for that. So there you go. And we also have another one. Do you guys watch Doctor Who? Yes, actually, if you stick around long enough for the end of the show, there will be a Doctor Who reference in our closing comments. So there's that.
The one time Adam's not here.
I know, right? The one time the fan comes in who's like, he probably has all the creative wrestlers from Pertwee through Hurt. So well, maybe he can hook Adam up.
Every week he says Pertwee through Hurt, and I don't know. Like I understand the sounds he's making, but it doesn't sound like anything I've ever heard.
It's now Infomaniac would understand. It's a British thing that Americans, of course, being Americans as we are, we think everything the Brits do are cool, but we always try to make it kind of our thing, even though it's not technically our thing at all. But there's that. So it's kind of like how, and you'll understand this reference and appreciate it. It's kind of like how when the Romantics were writing in England, in Europe, and that American Emerson goes over there and he's like, wow, these guys are really smart. I'm going to take it back home and then I'm just going to call it transcendentalism. And so it's kind of like that. That's your literary moment on this podcast.
Perfect.
When you get two English majors together, bound to happen.
Indeed. Of course, the 1 week Adam's not here, we get a Doctor Who fan, and he's very artistic. So go figure.
That's careful there. All right.
And also, of course, just to tie things into wrestling, Doctor Who is, of course, Jim Neidhart after he got his postgraduate degree.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Yeah. So your next round of questions. Can't get the job done on his Owen. Questions about Owen Hart tag teams. After that, in honor of the Ultimate Warrior, unknown parts. Questions about China. And and of course, come aboard the Ho train. Questions about Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh God, I'm gonna go with which one do I want to do? I'm gonna go with the first one.
The Owen Hart tag teams?
Owen Hart tag teams.
Perfect. Your first question. What was the name of the tag team formed by Owen Hart and Jim Neidhart in 1991?
That's the New Foundation.
Very good.
Yeah.
Second question. What was the name of the tag team formed by Owen Hart and Coco Beware in 1992?
That's High Energy.
Very good. Wow, yeah, you know your Owen tag teams.
I apparently do.
I guess we'll see. Well, now here's the tough part. Owen Hart won the WWF tag team titles 4 times with 3 different partners. Name 2 of those 3 partners.
4 times with 3 different partners?
Yeah, 3 partners, yep.
And I have to name 2 of them.
Yep, just 2.
Okay. Owen Hart was tag team champions with the British Bulldog.
That's correct.
And Owen Hart... who else was Owen Hart a tag team partner with? Or tag team champion with? Oh, man, I got one. This is probably wrong, but I'm just going to go with it to save time. Vader.
No, actually, it was Yokozuna.
That's right. That's who I'm thinking of. Wrong big man.
Yep, the mystery partner at WrestleMania that one year.
Yep.
And Jeff Jarrett toward the end of
really
of Owen's life. I think he and Jeff were tagging together a lot. Yeah.
Interesting.
Indeed. And I think this is your final round of categories. Your final categories are, of course, Funk Me, questions about Terry Funk, Flash Funk, and the Funkadactyls. After that, God Bless the Red, White, and Blue, questions about the Red Rooster, Kerwin White, and the Blue Meanie. And, of course, this category is not about strippers, questions about objects on a pole.
Let's do the objects on a pole.
Excellent. Oh, and you're in luck because this is actually a bonus. These are all from Vince Russo's tenure with WCW in 1999 and 2000.
Except I'm not going to get any of these because.
Oh, you might actually.
Oh.
For example, on the November 15th, 1999 episode of Monday Nitro, Russo booked 5 luchadors to compete in what type of object on a pole match?
Oh, God, it was not a green card, was it?
No. You're on the right track, though.
Oh,
it was a pinata.
Oh, God. Because I was going to say, if it's a green card on a pole match, that'd be horrible.
No, well, pinata's not much better. And literally, I think somebody got whipped into the turnbuckle maybe 10 seconds in the match, and the pinata just fell.
Did they break it?
And even better, this match I think also was the debut of the very offensive Oklahoma character where they mocked JR's Bell's palsy. Yeah, so there was a lot of shit going on here. Your second question. On the July 31st, 2000 episode of Monday Nitro, Billy Kidman and Shane Douglas, who was suffering from erectile dysfunction at the time, had a match featuring which object on a pole?
Wasn't that the Viagra on a pole?
It was Viagra, exactly.
Oh my God, that's awful.
Yeah. And finally, a few weeks later, at WCW's New Blood Rising pay-per-view in 2000, which wrestler's mother was placed on a forklift during the match?
That was Bagwell.
That's correct. There you go. You knew more about objects on a pole than you would have thought.
Oh, but I just remember that was just ridiculous.
Judy Bagwell on a forklift.
Oh, that is ridiculous. Good times.
Yeah. Why did WCW die again? I don't
know. I think it had something to do with Leno wrestling and people holding the title that should have been holding the title, and
like David Arquette. So there you go, a good showing at the end there, in the 3-for-all. Congratulations, cool. Very good.
It's pretty good showing. I'm going to pat myself on the back. I am still your champion.
Yeah, you basically won the same way that Seth Rollins beat Roman Reigns at Night of Champions.
Which is, hey, if I'm going to win anyway, I'm going to win like Seth Rollins wins. So we're good to go.
That's good.
Yep.
The way your man Gix wins.
That is true.
It looks like we have some more comments on the side.
Info Maniac says, I one time met Colin Baker. Awesome. Who played the Sixth Doctor in the mid '80s. That is frickin' awesome. Also says, more Doctor Who stuff. So here you go, Adam. The Doctor Who episode I'm really looking forward to the most is The Forest of the Night, written by Frank Cortrell, Boyce. I'm going to meet him at a book event in Liverpool on October 29th, 4 days after the episode is broadcast. That is fantastic. I'm a couple episodes behind right now, but fantastic. And finally, I can't wait to meet Dave Prowse, a.k.a. Darth Vader, at Living Dead Con. So this guy's got a lot going on.
He does. Maybe one day he'll get to meet Raccoon Reigns, and then it'll be the highlight of his life.
And that would be the highlight of my life. Is all I'm saying.
For sure.
Absolutely. It says you guys are really down to earth, and for that you have my sub. Oh, fantastic! I love sub sandwiches. They're amazing.
Tune in next week as well.
Please do join us. Where our other host will maybe be back before he has a child.
Yes.
We've done that. We're moving on to the news this week.
Indeed, and I apologize because basically nothing noteworthy happened. I was kind of praying that a wrestler was going to kill his wife and kids before the show started, so I have something to report on. But
that's terrible.
So I only have 5 stories, but I'm going to harken back to when Sean used to host.
Oh yeah, that guy Sean.
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah, Sean used to do the news back in the day, and in honor of a great wrestler from the 80s, he called the segment Bad News Town. So we're going to do that.
All right, do it.
Get it? Bad news. Anyway.
I get it.
First story. So over the weekend, Xavier Woods posted a picture on Instagram of himself, Kofi Kingston, and Big E at a house show where he referred to the group as Speed Force. Now, I had previously thought that the only wrestler who knew anything about the force of speed was Jeff Hardy, but maybe Xavier knows something we don't. This is your first story of the week, and I call it The Nation of We Slam. Now, I bring this up for two reasons. One, because I want to know what you think of the name Speed Force, and two, because I thought this group was dead, and I want to know your thoughts on a potential faction of African American wrestlers, a demographic the WWE seems to give less than a saggy shite about.
Speed Force sounds like the throwaway name that Owen Hart and Coco Beware came up with originally.
Or actually more like Owen Hart and Jim Neidhart, because he'd be the Speed and Neidhart would be the Force.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it actually might have been cooler than the New Foundation. But I'm not sure. I'm not really digging the name. However, I'm glad that they're going to try to throw these guys back together. I think that they hiccuped and took a step back when they didn't really rush with it, because this could be really cool.
I agree. It was so weird that they, for a couple weeks there, they were kind of just standing at ringside, like watching the match, and it was like, what's going to happen with these guys? When are they going to pull the trigger? And Xavier Woods cut a promo, I think, like in the beginning, where he was like, "Now we take," instead of just waiting, and then they ended up just waiting and haven't done anything. Yeah. I thought it was going to be a heel faction, but
poor writing.
Yeah. I thought it would have been nice to see Kofi as a heel, but I guess they just kind of put it on the back burner, and now they're sort of back together and seem to be faces. So I don't know.
Bunch of black guys hanging out. Good time.
Exactly. I guess so. They don't have to be the new nation. They just have to be more interesting, because Kofi and Big E are pretty dull. I mean, Kofi, they put on good matches, but I mean, in terms of characters, they have no character. Kofi got rid of his character. He used to at least have a character of being a Jamaican dude, and then now he's just, the guy who does wacky shit at Battle Royals and Royal Rumbles.
Absolutely. I think it's if they could just tap Big E's ability on Twitter in front of the camera, it would work, because he's pretty entertaining on Twitter.
Yeah, well, he was giving the breathy preacher promos for a while there too. So
that was really bad.
That was kind of bizarre. Oh, we got another comment on the side. Two more comments on the side.
Oh, I see one, but maybe the other will appear in a moment. First one says, "Speaking of the '80s, I love these non sequiturs. That's actually pretty fun. It's kind of like my banana facts from several months ago. It was quite the decade of sorrow for Britain, all because of Margaret Thatcher, that bitch."
Well, she's dead now, so it's okay.
It's okay. So you know what that means, Infomaniac? That means Britain won.
Yeah.
Britain won.
We had Reagan here in the States, so it wasn't much better.
Absolutely. He says, "My dad was 14 years old when the riots began in 1981. I'm learning facts today."
Is this guy a wrestling fan, or is he just...
I think he's just like, hey, these guys are kind of cool. Let's just listen to this banter.
Well, sir, your voice will be heard on a wrestling podcast.
Absolutely. Your voice has been heard. Even I can't even imagine what time it is in Britain.
They're 6 hours ahead, I think. So, 6 hours ahead of us on the East Coast.
Well, okay, so
it'd be almost 3 o'clock in the morning over there.
That is ridiculous. You should probably he should change his name from the Infomaniac to like the I don't know, the sleep mate. I don't know.
Well, actually,
I can't think of anything there.
If you recall, Froda did a couple podcasts from Norway. And about
Froda,
6 hours ahead too.
When he died on that one podcast last week.
He did. We almost killed him.
We'll call the Insomniac. That's what we'll call
there
it.
You go. There you go. Yeah. Froda, we missed you. Come back.
Oh, Froda. I wonder whatever happened to him. Does he still listen even? I don't even know.
I hope so.
I hope so too. He had the funniest laugh.
He did have a great laugh. That's true.
Anywho. Real quick, the Infomaniac also says the biggest problem with the Iron Lady film is that it doesn't tell the truth about Margaret Thatcher. I'd never seen that. So there you go.
My biggest problem with the Iron Lady film was that I thought it was about a robot. So
and you were disappointed. That you thought
I was like, this is not an Iron Lady. This is about Margaret Thatcher.
What is going on?
And also that's a role that Meryl Streep won an Academy Award for, but she's probably got at least 10 better roles. Anyway, sorry. Okay. Would you like to give the sound effect?
If you give me the next.
Next. PW Insider reports that Global Force Wrestling, the new promotion founded by Jeff Jarrett, is expected to launch on pay-per-view on January 4th at the Tokyo Dome. New Japan Pro Wrestling holds a dome show every year on that date, and it is basically the equivalent of NJPW's WrestleMania. However, it is believed that the show would be branded as Global Force Wrestling instead of NJPW, leading me to call this story HELLOKITY. Now, The Tokyo Dome has a capacity of 42,000 people, and obviously that's a lot of butts to put in seats. So I ask you this. Will the people of Japan come out to see a brand new American wrestling promotion with a currently unknown roster, or will they run from it faster than they do from giant nuclear fire-breathing reptiles?
I guess it depends on how expensive the tickets are.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a completely unknown. All we know is Jeff Jarrett's in it. I think Mick Foley might also be in it, and AJ Styles is rumored to potentially be in it as well. But that's all I know about it so far.
Well, I mean, if it's only like 50 million yen, which is what, like $5 American? I mean, it's
sure.
It may be, but I don't know. That's a tough thing to bet on.
Yeah. So you're thinking of it from a price perspective. I was thinking of it just from an interest perspective. Like, why do we give a shit about this stupid new American promotion?
Well, I mean, that's part of it too. Absolutely. I think that's a gamble. I think if they keep I don't know, they'd have to like try to promote it as, not as Jarrett's promotion, but as the original, but like attach Jarrett's name to it somehow.
Yeah. Like, wait a minute, guys. We can go watch a promotion founded by the guy who founded TNA and who used to say Slapnuts. We can go do. Let's go. Let's get the kids in the car.
People with guitars, just like the Honky Tonk Man did. Cyclical.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's a pretty big gamble. And what we have more comments on the side as well.
Infomaniac's real name is Jamie. So there you go. And he also says, I'm not a wrestling fan. Sorry. So I apologize. This is the rundown. I probably should put wrestling podcast in the description. But I'm glad that you're still here. We can still discuss with you. So
feel free to stick around anyway. How do you wait? But wouldn't he have had to see the Hangout on Facebook, or can you just randomly come across Facebook?
You can just randomly come across it. It's open. It's open to the public.
Oh, perfect. Awesome.
That's why that one time that guy came in here and called us faggots in Spanish.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Oh, fair enough. Hey, I'll take what I can get.
There you go.
NXT. That was my way of saying next.
I get it.
There we go. In reference to the Big Show yanking the Russian flag to the ground on Monday, WWE.com posted a statement which read, "We at WWE would like to apologize to the Russian people for the incident on Monday Night Raw that could have been construed as disrespect for their nation's flag, which leads me to call this segment World War III. It's no longer just a WCW pay-per-view." Now, personally, I'm okay with the Big Show pulling down the Russian flag, but only if they even it out next week by having Rusev take a shit on the American flag in the middle of the ring. Fair is fair.
It is, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and also doesn't that apology ring a little hollow when the entire point of the segment was to disrespect the Russian flag?
Right.
It's kind of like saying we apologize for setting that house on fire. We did not realize that dousing it in gasoline and tossing a match on it would then cause it to be flammable. You live and learn. You live and learn.
Absolutely.
So, I know you didn't see it, but your thoughts on the flag yanking? Would it be ridiculously disrespectful, an overblown controversy, or a little of both?
My comment is, isn't that what Rusev and Lana do all the time? Flag.
Hurricane Lana.
Flag. Here you go. Flag yanking. Isn't that what they call it? Is that no? Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's. I wonder if there's a small part of me wonder if it's a work. You know, like if they go off of that.
I'm just thinking, we have a foreign person on the show right here. So, Infomaniac, would you be disrespected if somebody yanked the British flag from the ceiling down to the ground? Let us know.
As part of an entertainment show.
As part of an entertainment show, correct. As part of a wrestling show, if somebody yanked the British flag to the ground and I guess disrespected in that manner, would that bother you? You can let us know.
There you go.
But yeah, it looks like he has a comment here again.
He says he mostly talks about films and music, which those are good things. I enjoy those things.
I love film as well. Share with us some of your favorite films.
Why not?
I also like music, but I'm assuming that with music it's such a wide range, so who even knows?
Yeah, that's true.
Anywho, NXT!
Ooh, sha!
There you go, right on cue that time.
Yep.
Bray Wyatt should never go on Twitter because that's about as in character for him as hosting a Pilates class, but he did recently tweet a cryptic message. It exists in us all. We are the ants. Destroy the scorpion. Be heard. Now, speculation is that the scorpion mentioned in the tweet refers to a potential feud with Sting, so I'm going to go ahead and call this story, hey, remember when the crocodile hunter was killed by that Sting, Bray? Now, personally, Personally, I'd like to think that Wyatt is actually calling out The Rock's superhero alter ego, but maybe I'm hoping for too much. But would you be in favor of a Sting-Wyatt feud? And will Sting ever actually debut on television, or did Vince just buy him and lock him in a dungeon so he could have final bragging rights over WCW?
I wonder. Okay, I guess I'll tackle the second question first. I think that I think that we will eventually see Sting. I don't know when it'll happen. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know in what capacity, but I think at some point we're going to see Sting, and hopefully it'll be worth the wait.
Well, it actually strikes me as very funny because if you've been watching, have you watched any of the Monday Night War segments on WWE Network?
Yes.
Okay, did you see the Bret Hart one?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, the major point of contention there was Bret Hart was like, they waited a month by the time I left WWE to debut me on TV in WCW. It's like the WWE signed Sting almost a year ago, like 10 months ago, something like that, and they didn't even debut him on Raw. They debuted him in a goddamn commercial. So,
absolutely.
I mean, obviously it's not a case where they need to have Sting, but the guy's not getting any younger, and we know there. It's like you would think they would want to pull the trigger on this pretty quickly.
They're going to have to before he dies.
That's right. So, I mean, I guess if they all just want to have him come back for one match with The Undertaker and then that's it, but who fucking knows? I don't know. It just seems really weird.
Undertaker might be dying. Who knows? I mean, he's doing. I mean, it's all bad. I don't know.
Well, he already is dead. I mean, technically, right? So.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Undead.
Undead.
But
which always confused me, like that phrase. Like I don't know why. I don't know why that confused me so much. It makes sense, but like it doesn't at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just me. I don't know.
Dead-ish.
Kind of dead?
Yeah. Borderline dead? Pseudo dead?
Half dead? I'm half dead.
There you go. It's like being.
I got better.
Yes. But yes, I'd be in favor of a Bray Wyatt Sting feud if they wanted to go.
I would. I would. That'd be pretty cool.
It would be.
And to note from last week, all the bitching, like let's say, like all the notes of they're not using him. Well, guess what? They're using him again. Like they're going to build up with the vignettes. They just were trying to give him some time, you know.
Are you talking about Bray Wyatt?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. I mean, everyone's freaking out like, Bray Wyatt's not on TV every week. That means they're burying him. They're not burying him. They're not. People overreact.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised he wasn't on Raw because Chicago was such a smarky crowd. You would think they'd throw him a bone and have Bray Wyatt on there, but I guess not.
You'd think.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
Once again, bunch of comments on the side.
Holy cow, I listened to rock music from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. As for today music, I think it is manufactured shit.
There you go.
Well said. Very British of you. Let's see.
Did they ever turn out any famous rock musicians in the 60s? I don't recall. I don't know. When he's at the autograph signing in Liverpool, maybe you can ask somebody. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not really sure. There's some sort of invasion, or maybe I don't know, a cyclical invasion. Anyway,
WWE invasion.
Exactly. One of my favorite films from my childhood is Disney's The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Interesting choice.
That is an interesting choice.
I guess being European, it makes sense. I love watching sci-fi and horror films. Smiley face. And John Carpenter's The Thing is awesome, which is
there you go. That's
true.
good.
Very true.
By the way, is Jamie a man or a woman? Because that could go either way. That name could be the other.
I don't know.
I think it's more common to be a man's name in
I think
English.
so. I think so.
Yeah.
I think you're right on that.
And also, if he's talking about horror movies, it's probably a guy. So.
Possibly.
Anywho.
Yeah.
Next.
Sha.
And finally this week.
Hey!
It is such a shit week for news. But, oh well. So according to WrestleZone, WWE is reportedly planning to turn Randy Orton face in the next few months.
Really?
So I'm going to go ahead and call this segment, I hear voices in my head and they're all saying meh. I was going to say turning him into a good guy would be a terrible idea because the fans don't care about him when he's a face. But then again, they don't really care about him when he's a heel either, so maybe it's a wash.
That is true.
Your thoughts on Randy Orton going back to shaking hands and kissing babies instead of kissing hands and shaking babies?
If they play the face turn as I'm going to be a vicious face, and put him against the authority, then it could work.
I figure they'd have to put him against the authority, yeah.
Yeah, they have to.
I just don't think anyone will give a shit.
I think what needs to happen is something needs to happen where he gets a match coming up against Brock Lesnar for the title, and something happens that gets them screwed over. So
that might be interesting if they went Lesnar versus Orton.
I would see Lesnar. I would watch a Lesnar versus Orton match. I think
that'd be interesting. I feel like the fans might shit on it a bit, but it could be interesting.
They might. I mean, who else? I mean, who else do you have, right? I mean, they've set up this guy is so unbeatable, and then he beats John Cena. So then it's like, where do you go with that?
That is the major problem, is that in the past calendar year, he's defeated The Undertaker cleanly, defeated Cena cleanly in a complete absolute squash.
Yeah.
And the second matchup between them was a little bit screwier, but I mean, still, everyone's going to remember him just wiping the floor with Cena at SummerSlam.
Absolutely.
So I mean, who really can you put up against him?
That is true. They've kind of written themselves into a wall.
Yeah. And even Randy Orton, I feel like, wouldn't be that much of a convincing threat. Like if it was Randy Orton going up against Brock Lesnar, I'd be like, well, he has no shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
It wouldn't be convincing to see Randy Orton beating the crap out of Brock Lesnar at this point. Once Cena has already gotten his ass kicked, but I don't know. Maybe Sting. Throw Sting in there.
Oh God. Let's not kill Sting. I know that Sting is near death, but let's not kill Sting.
Okay, fair enough.
Please.
And another comment on the side.
I am a 21-year-old male. Happy now? Lol. Yes, we are. We're very happy.
Now we know.
Now we know. And knowing is half the battle. I wish I met John Lennon. The guy was a musical genius, unlike some of the artists today. That's pretty true.
Yeah.
Pretty true statement.
I appreciate the fact that he's a 21-year-old, but he's going back and listening to 50s and 60s rock. That's
absolutely. That's commendable right there. Like someone raised that guy right.
Exactly. He sounds like a 21-year-old hipster, but it's okay. It's okay.
We're not going to judge.
I also am just wondering about the fact that he comes into this podcast and he's just like, hey, there's a guy talking to a raccoon, and that's
and he's so like, he's never brought up, like, he doesn't know the show, and he's not like, why is this man talking to a raccoon? I don't know, but it's pretty cool. All right, so we're just going to sit here and watch this smart alecky raccoon talk to what I'm going to assume is his owner or something. I don't know what's going on.
Exactly. I'm waving hello to him right now. Waving hello to Jamie from across the pond. How's it going? Yeah. What's up, buddy?
I bet Jamie has never been spoken to or officially, like, said hello to by a raccoon from America. So there's that. Do they have raccoons in England? Hey, Jamie, you got raccoons? Or what are they called in England? Because sometimes Englanders have amazing names for things.
True. Well, they probably have Guardians of the Galaxy over there, so he's seen Rocket Raccoon.
Yes,
and
true.
Inadvertently Batista as well, so he's seen some wrestling. So
you know wrestling.
He does.
And
I guess that does it.
That does it for the rundown.
I suppose, except for everybody's favorite half hour of the podcast, the plugs.
I will try to be unlike Adam and go quickly.
Go lightning round.
That does it for the rundown for this Wednesday, October 1st, 2014. 149 days since Sheamus won the WWE United States Championship. Liberty States Wrestling returns with Fall Fury next Saturday, October 4th. Go to libertystateswrestling.com. VCW Chills and Thrills. It sounds like an SCW show. Friday, October 17th at the Belltime Club in Wakefield, Massachusetts. Go to vcwlivewire.com. APW Body Slams for the Cause to benefit the Milford Special Athletes Wrestling Organization. Saturday, August 18th.
Wait a minute.
Saturday, August 18th.
It was Body Slams for breast cancer. Now it's Body Slams for the Cause.
And I think we have a wrong date in here. It says August 18th. I'm going to assume that means October 18th.
Let's go with that.
Let's go with October. At the
Cause,
APW.
I think, was by the way, the pseudo Scientology stand-in in the movie The Master. So there's one for you, Jamie. So basically, what we're doing here is a wrestling show to fund Scientology.
There, it's basically that.
They need all the help they can get.
APW Body. Okay, I already said that. Lucky Pro Lesson. I don't think I finished the last one. At the APW Arena at the Newbury Fire Hall in Newbury, Massachusetts. www.atlanticprowrestling.com. Lucky
John
Pro
Cena
Wrestling.
Senior.
There you go. Lucky Pro Wrestling. Fall Frenzy in Clinton, Massachusetts. I wanted to say Clinton, Iowa, because we got Clinton, Iowa really close here. On Saturday.
Do the voice. Don't forget to do the voice.
What's my voice for
the Clinton Mass?
Oh God. I don't remember.
That's good, Massachusetts.
Oh yeah, that's good. It's good. Some good Massachusetts are out there. We could just use a little soap and water. We'll get that stain right out.
I did not have sexual relations with that man, Jamie from the United Kingdom.
I hope not. That's something. I'm telling your wife or girlfriend or what do you want to call her? Which I'm not sure what her name is, by the way. Are you dating a raccoon? Is that what you're dating? Is that?
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
Fantastic. Is she ever going to be on the show?
I certainly hope so.
That's.
You may see Raccoon Reigns dip out of the picture for a moment and then come back with the girlfriend will be there wearing some lipstick. Yeah.
I would die. I would probably die. So if you want to set that up next time I'm around, I will forget by then, and then I will die. It'll be
fair enough.
All right.
Fair enough.
Lucky Pro Wrestling, yada, blah, blah, blah. Clinton, Mass, November 1st, luckyprowrestling.com. Follow us on Twitter at Rundown Podcast. You can email us at rundownwrestling@gmail.com. Give us your feedback. Give us your Ryback theme songs. Give us your catchphrase suggestions. Give us your fake sponsors. Give us your real sponsors. Give us, this is for you, Infomaniac Jamie, give us your Doctor Who creator wrestlers for Pertwee through Hurt and Capaldi. Because that's a thing that Adam does. He makes Doctor Who creator wrestlers in wrestling games and makes them fight each other. Because that makes sense.
And again, I understand this Pertwee through Hurt. I understand that syllables are being uttered, but I just don't understand. Like, I don't even know.
Email the questions for answer on YouTube, which Adam will never do. Send us your Dear WWE letters. Send us your budget suggestions for Vince. Send us your wrestler combinations, which I don't think we've had. So we need some. We have Raccoon Reigns is here. We could have rapid fired them at the end of the show, but no. We have nothing.
Hey, I did come up with for The Rock and the Junkyard Dog. I did come up with the team name, the Strudel and Poodle connection.
It only took you like a week. All right.
Yeah, but it was worth it.
That was good. It was good though. Leave us a voicemail at 206-202-6478. That's 206-20 angst.
For some reason, it's a Washington State number.
Which I'm not going to question. Maybe it was cheaper to get the number there.
If you call up, you'll talk to some kid in a flannel, and he'll send you straight to the voicemail. You can record your message.
Absolutely. Go to facebook.com/Rundown Wrestling or go to rundown.podomatic.com. You can also make donations there. The PayPal button on the right side. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Podomatic. Follow us on Twitter. Also, you can go to youtube.com/Rundown Podcast to see all of our archived episodes like this one, not featuring Adam. So there you go. You can watch me talk to a raccoon and people not think I'm insane. Exactly. You can also go to...
Amy just accept it, and we love him.
Yes. Go to google.com/plus Adam Rundown Host so you can follow us live on the Google Pluses, the Google Hangouts. You could circle him. You can circle jerk him on the Google Pluses. So there you go. Indeed. Visit rundownwrestling.blogspot.com. I don't know what has been put on there recently, but go check it out. Good times.
A lot of dick pics.
And not all mine. We got a wide variety of. We actually have a game up there right now where it's like guess the host by their penis.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty easy to figure out which one is Raccoon Reigns.
Well, Josh's is on there, so I'm not sure. Speaking of projects, it was not a segue. I don't even know why. Speaking of things,
Indeed.
Go to tinyurl.com/Distant Horizons to pick up a copy of this here chapbook written by me.
Do it, Jamie.
I write poetry sometimes, and it's only $1.99 in a PDF file. I think, well, I'm not sure what that equates to in British money, the pound, if you will, but it's good. You can also check it out on Amazon on their Kindle stores. So,
and it's true that all of those poems are based on Doctor Who, correct?
Every single poem is based on that. The disclaimer: not all poems based on Doctor Who. So yeah, you should totally pick up the Doctor Who potion book. It's good. It's got a TARDIS on there and everything. Oh, didn't see it. Oh well, sorry. Also, check out shadowvein.net. That is my other podcast, which officially debuted yesterday, and actually is I've got a lot of downloads so far.
Really?
We jumped on Podomatic overnight from like 20,000 to like in the 4,000. So that's pretty exciting.
20,000 downloads. Wow.
No, that's not quite, but we'll go with it. I wish my bandwidth would be fucked, I think, if that was the case. No, but the first episode, The Cure, is up. Yours truly is the writer and producer. Adam is actually on that as well. So if you're ever looking to do some voices, let me know. I can fit in a raccoon. I'll write a raccoon character in, maybe a genetically modified raccoon
that carries a machine gun.
Yep. That sounds very human.
There you go.
There you go. Search for us on iTunes or Stitcher under the Rundown Wrestling Podcast. If you go there, you can leave us a review on iTunes. If you do, we will read your comments, your written comments here on a future show, like these fine people.
Like these comments by Jamie on the side.
Like these comments from Jamie on the side. My favorite Irish rock band is Thin Lizzy. Fantastic band. Their 1991 album Renegade is very underrated. I agree. My dad and granddad are the ones that got me into proper music. That's very British of you to say. And finally, I wish I can speak to you guys all night because this hangout is just brilliant. And that is high praise, and I appreciate that. Jamie, very much appreciate that.
Yeah, Jamie, tune in next week at the same time, where we'll probably still be talking about wrestling, but we can fit you in as well.
Absolutely, and if Adam has a problem with that, fuck him, because we are in control right now, so we'll do what we do. We won't. Thanks to Tegan Brown for our Logan. Thanks for
our Logan.
Did I say Logan?
Yeah, you did. Is that a logo / slogan?
I think so. That's a logo / slogan. It's a Logan.
Perfect.
Thank you for our Logan. Thanks to all of you listening at home, all tens of you. We love you. It's fantastic. Thanks to Jamie on the side.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. There's your
emphasis
on there's your Doctor Who reference for the show. And thanks to Raccoon Reigns.
Pleasure to be here.
Absolutely, it was a good show. Felt like we got a lot done. We said a lot. It's gonna be a longer podcast than we have been doing recently, so I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. What are we at right now? About an hour and a half?
Yeah, give or take.
Right.
We'll see how much the intro is when I illegally steal it, but legally kind of.
Wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge. And thank you to I Fight Dragons for the theme song. Go to ifightdragons.com. Next week.
Washa-sha. Oh, sorry.
Wow. Next week, there's gonna be stuff. There's not, we don't have a pay-per-view coming up, so we're still waiting on that. We'll talk about Raw. We'll talk about SmackDown. We'll talk about Main Event. We'll talk about NXT. Hopefully, we'll have better news this week or next week.
Hopefully, Raw will be watchable.
Hopefully, it won't feel like you were on LSD while watching the episode. Yeah, so this will be a good episode next week. Raccoon Reigns or no? No? Yes? No?
Yeah, no. Not next week.
Oh, okay. I don't know when we're airing next week because I am going to be out of town on Wednesday, so I don't know if we're going to record early, late, or not at all. But we'll be here next week in some capacity. If maybe it might just be Adam and someone else, maybe we'll pull in Josh. We haven't had Josh in a while because everyone on the survey loved Josh. So.
Did they? Excellent. It wasn't just Josh voting for himself.
A little sarcasm, but anyway.
No.
And as always, remember, Jacob, good night and good luck. And Tom, go get yourself a snack because it's late at night. But I feel like a snack. I don't know about you.
Indeed. Do you think next week when Jamie tunes in and it's going to be you and Adam, he's going to be telling his friends, like, no, seriously, there was a raccoon on the show last week? And his friends are just going to be like, no.
He's going to host a party. He's gone, by the way. But he's going to, he just left. Oh, he's back. But Jamie's going to host a party and bring all of his friends over. And he's going to be like, these guys, it's weird. This guy talks to a raccoon. I swear. And then it's going to be me and Adam. And he's going to be like, what the hell? And they're going to think he's nuts. And then he's going to
end up I swear. It's a talking raccoon. The raccoon talks on the show. Oh, I can't wait to see it. Oh.
What a letdown. It's just some bald guy.
Yeah, with his pregnant wife in the background.
Very prominently in the background. Just kind of hanging out. Just there. I love her to death.
We're not your friends anymore, Jamie. You lied to us.
uh, actually, his wife in the background is one of my favorite things about the podcast because she likes to make fun of him sometimes, and I love that.
Indeed.
I love that about her.
Should we read the Infomaniac comments before we go off
sure,
the air, James?
let's do it because Adam's going to have to loop this 7 times, which I love because I love making his life hell. Going off the air now, let's just finish these off. Infomaniac says most of the artists today will be forgotten in 40 years' time because the music is completely forgettable. Back in the day, it was the musician's business. Nowadays, it's owned by greedy businessmen men and lawyers who haven't got a clue what music is all about. Very true. I totally agree. And finally, all the proper bands played at bars and clubs for years trying to clinch a record deal. They don't go on some crappy talent show to get it handed to them. Brilliant. More brilliant words have never been said.
Well, we can thank his countryman Simon Cowell for that.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you so much. We'll see you later.
See you later. Bye, Jamie, and everyone else listening or watching at home.
Bye!
Suckers!
And welcome to the post show.
Indeed.
Oh
wait,
man.
I should stop recording.
That would be great. We'll probably just go into that. He'll just keep it. I should stop recording. Last thing you hear on the podcast next week. Well, aside from the stuff at the end.
Rundown 171. Gonna have to call this part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2.
You can send me both, and then I'll just figure out. I'll try to compile the other 2, and rip the other one off, and then try to do that. So.
Sounds like a plan.
So let's export this.
Jamie's still here?
Oh, Jamie is still here, my friend. Oh, he's gone. It says 0 viewers. 1 viewer. He's back. He says, I'll be sure to sub. Hey, if you want to jump in with Adam next week, I'm sure awesome. you guys will have an amazing conversation, I'm sure, about wrestling.
Perfect.
We're all set. Oh, I am in the wrong folder. I do not want to save it in my Shadow Vein folder. I need to save that in the Rundown folder.
It's weird that I have 2 folders. You know what's actually, this is all coming full circle as well in a podcast form as well, because when Adam left for his wedding, I should say, 3 years ago, he was on his honeymoon, it was just me and the former co-host who were doing the show, and there was an episode where, because we were getting a lot of British downloads, I did the entire episode in a British voice. So, it all comes full circle.
Cyclical.
And Jamie could tell me if my British accent was accurate.
Oh, do it. Do the British accent.
Hello there, Raccoon Reigns here. Yep.
That's definitely that was it. That was your British accent.
Raccoon Reigns here, live from wherever we are. Yes, good, very good, yes.
It kind of sounded like old school recording like movie star.
Yeah.
Like vaudeville. It was a little vaudeville.
Triple H.
Okay, that's a little better. I like that. I like how the Brits say H for H. It's fascinating to me.
HBK.
HBK. It's amazing how much we've bastardized the English language and how much we fucked it up.
Umanga.
Oh, I miss him saying Umanga. That was like some of my favorite moments of all time.
I know. It's a shame he can never do it again, unless he's like, I just came from the funeral of Umanga.
I don't know why it's been like 4 years since his dead that we finally got the funeral. They threw him in the freezer backstage.
Next to Paul Bearer.
I was going to say that, but
because he was in the freezer.
I didn't know if that was tasteless or not. Oh! Look at that! Look at that! Look at that!
Mm-hmm.
He says the nice accent.
Oh, see, stunningly accurate.
That's what I call you, Stunning Raccoon Reigns. That's my nickname for you.
Indeed, I'll try a John Lennon accent later. And by later I mean in a couple seconds because we don't have much time left. Let's see. John Lennon was all like, imagine there's no religion. It's easy if you try. Something like that.
That's not bad.
That's okay. I do hope you were aiming for Yoko. No.
Nice.
Thank you. Yeah. Jamie will appreciate that reference.
I hope so. Adam is messaging me. He's like, "Where's the damn podcast?"
You shot me, but you let Ringo live.
What?
Was that a wash a shot? Let's see. What is the progress on my file? Oh, still got a couple minutes left. 2 to be precise.
If you want to get on the skippies, I'm on there now. So
I'll come on in just a little bit because my computer is already very slow in the download, probably because I have this open. But then I can, once it finishes, I can pop on over. This is all very exciting for Jamie, I'm sure.
I know it is.
Yeah. Anywho.
Well, Jamie, I want to say thank you very much for joining us. If you want to join us next week, I don't think it'll be on Wednesday, but if you want to follow us on Twitter or Facebook, or even here on Google Plus, like this account, and we will post when we're going to do this next week, possibly Tuesday. Is kind of my thoughts because I teach Thursday night and I'm gone Wednesday night. So there you go. So thank you. I'm going to go off the air. I'm going to stop broadcasting now. Jamie, you're a doll. We'll see you later.
Tell all your friends across the pond about the rundown.
Tell all your bloody Brits that the rundown is quite the place to be. That's more Australian. I apologize. Why Tangy Day? All right, I'm going to stop now.
It's not a lot of bollocks.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Yeah. Right. That's not a podcast. This is a podcast.
All right.